Well, a very enthusiastic and warm evening to everyone, including distinguished delegates, esteemed guests. People, today marks a historic moment, the inaugural gathering of the ELUN Council, where voices from around the world converge in pursuit of dialogue, understanding, and collective progress. This event is more than a debate. It is a turning point. Throughout history, every great change was born from courageous conversations in halls much like this, where differing ideas met, clashed, and ultimately forged new paths. Tonight, each of you steps into that profound legacy. Your passion, your response, reasoned arguments, and your diplomacy will not only echo in these chambers, but ripple outward, shaping the future of global cooperation and fairness in trade. My dear lovely listeners, as we embark on this journey together, remember one thing: ELUN is not just a platform but a catalyst for change, for listening as much as speaking, for collaboration as much as competition. Let us make a history with respect, insight, and courage. This strikes a balance of gravitas, inspiration, and inclusivity, setting a powerful tone for the ELUN opening. But that's not the rest of the history. Let me solve one of the biggest mysteries of ELUN. Before we begin this historic debate, this historic and contributable debate, let us take a moment to recognize the two voices who will guide us through tonight's journey. Who are those two voices? We are truly privileged, honored to have Sarah and Aya as our hosts. Let me introduce each of them. Sarah, she is known across our community for her flawless English speaking skills, her clarity, grace, and magnetic presence. She is the true reflection of confidence and elegance on stage. Coming to Arya, a dynamic public speaker. You heard it right. A versatile and a dynamic public speaker whose words have already reached thousands beyond this group. Thousands. Her recent speech, watched by over 3 lakh people. It's a big number. Inspired and motivated learners around the world. Together, they bring brilliance, balance, and energy. Not just as moderators, but as the guiding force of this grand debate. So with all our respect and excitement, let us give a thunderous round of applause to welcome our honorable hosts for the evening, Arya and Sarah. Sorry people, I'm mistaken. Exceptional Arya and extraordinary Sarah, the pride of the ELUN Mega Debate 2025. Now, rest of the mysteries of the event will be solved by our two extraordinary hosts of the event, Arya and Sarah. So I will request both of you to lead us to this energetic event. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nikhil. So let's start this debate. Good evening, respected organizers, our judge, participants, and the audience with us today. Welcome to a stage where voices will rise, where arguments will collide, and where every word will matter. Tonight, this platform is not just for speeches, it is for courage, it is for conviction, it is for ideas that have the strength to challenge. 12 nations, 12 students, one stage, and one burning question that refuses to stay silent. When countries build walls with tariffs, are they protecting their people or are they planting the seeds of a new global conflict? I'm Arya, have the honor of hosting this debate. I welcome you all to the ELUN Cross-Nation Debate 2025. Now, to begin this prestigious session, allow me to invite who will formally introduce our chair and the delegates representing 12 powerful nations. Please welcome my co-host, Miss Sarah.
Thank you, Arya. That was a warm welcome from you all. So, as we prepare to open the floor for today's diplomatic discourse, it is my honor to introduce the leaders of this session, starting with the one who will guide this debate with impartiality, order, and sharp insight, our honorable chair, Mr. Saksham. Now let's greet the voices that will shape today's debate. The delegates representing 12 influential nations, each bringing unique perspectives and diverse culture along with the hopes and challenges proudly and powerfully to the table today. So Arya, back to you.
Yes. So the very first nation, the representing United States, Siku.
The delegate of China would be Liv Salvatore.
Carrying the voice of India, Ishan.
Proudly from the Russia as the delegate, Miss Sautri.
From France, Ram Rising.
The delegate of UK would be Miss Anam.
Carrying the flag of Japan, Bliss.
Voice of Germany, Tejas.
Representing Saudi Arabia, Aruhi. Sorry, Achil.
The delegate of Turkey, Priyanshu.
Speaking for Brazil, Deepak.
Not the last, but the delegate proudly from South Africa, which is Utkarsh.
So yeah, we are all set to conclude this introduction round of these delegations, Miss Sarah.
Yes, I'm too excited like you, Arya. Tonight, it's going to be a very big day to us. Together, these 12 nations represent a tapestry of global influence and collaboration. As we embark on this day of debate, discussion, and diplomacy, let us remember that the goal is not just to speak, but to listen, to understand, and to lead. With our delegates in place and the floor set for global dialogue, I now welcome the delegates to perform, and with every power in their hand, they have to proudly represent their nations, and for which I am handing over this stage to Arya to initiate with the rules and the rounds very clearly. Please listen to it very clearly before you start, and may diplomacy prevail and voices be heard.
Yes, thank you so much, Sarah. So yeah, let's start with our round one. Welcome to the first round of the ELUN Cross-Nation Debate. Let the debate begin. It's time for our opening statements, and the floor is now officially open for our first speaker. As we begin the General Assembly, please remember the rules for this round. Number one, each country has exactly 2 minutes to deliver their opening statement. Number two, you must clearly state your position and provide one key reason to support it. Number three, the time limit will be strictly enforced to ensure fairness to all participants. So yeah, now let's get right into it, Sarah. I'm very eagerly waiting to hear from our very first speaker. You please do invite.
Thank you, Arya. So I invite the delegate representing the land of innovation, freedom, and global influence. Let's welcome the delegate of United States of America. I repeat, let's welcome the delegate of United States of America.
Is the timer already set, or can I start? Okay. A very good evening, Honorable Chair, esteemed delegates. I'm really grateful for this opportunity as presenting the U.S. delegation. The United States has always championed open trade, but openness cannot mean vulnerability. Tariffs are not weapons of hostility. They are instruments of security, fairness, and innovation. In critical industries like semiconductors, electric vehicles, and strategic metals, tariffs safeguard safeguard national security and ensure that our technological edge is not eroded by unfair practices. IP theft, state-driven subsidies, and market restrictions create an uneven playing field. Left unaddressed, these distortions threaten not only American workers but also the integrity of global markets. Yes, tariffs may involve short-term adjustments, but they protect long-term interests like resilient supply chains, fair competition, and sustained innovation. The US seeks cooperation, not confrontation. We welcome balanced trade, but balance requires reciprocity. Tariffs are a signal that equitable trade is not optimal. It is essential. We stand ready to cooperate, but cooperation must be mutual, transparent, and respectful of international trade norms. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Delegate of United States, for your powerful statement. It was very well. Sarah, what's your thought in it?
Indeed, but don't stop here. We have much more to experience. And that being said, with rich history, a home to ancient civilization and modern ambition, let's welcome the delegate of China.
I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are audible.
You can set the timer. Honorable Chair, esteemed delegates, as we speak, transformation unseen in a century are shaping the world. Yet, alongside opportunity, we see the troubling rise in protectionism. Tariffs are paraded as shields of economic protection, but in truth, they are taxes in patriotic costumes. They do not harm exporters, they burden households, raising the cost of child's laptop in Chicago or a farmer's tractor in India. Let us be clear. Tariff wars do not build industries. They fracture supply chains. They do not protect jobs. They inflate household budgets. This is not stability. It is provocation dressed as policy. China believes the compass of global trade must be guided by multilateralism and WTO principles, not unilateral whims. Therefore, we propose a 90 days standstill on new tariffs. Secondly, green and essential good corridors ensuring medicines and green technology are never ever hostage to politics. And lastly, relief to small exporters who should not be collateral damage. Delegates, economic globalization is irreversible. No nation can thrive in isolation. So I appeal to United States of America, United Kingdom, India, Russia, Germany, and France, and every nation who is listening. Your voice have shaped the history. Shape it again today, not with walls, but with bridges of trust. Let you roar. Let you know that this chamber endorses the creation of rule-based trade and stability bloc. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Delegate of China. That was a very clear position and very strong opening statement too. Sarah, you may proceed.
A beacon of democracy, diversity, and development, a key player in international affairs. Well, that being said, let's welcome the delegate of India. I repeat, let's welcome the delegate from India.
All right, you can start the timer now. Honorable Chair, distinguished delegates, and esteemed participant, Namaste from Bharat. I stand before you not as one individual, but as the voice of 1.4 billion Indians, a people of plural cultures, democratic resilience, and quiet strength. Today's debate on tariffs and trade is not only about economics. It is about the dignity and the development of millions whose lives depend on fair rules and predictable markets. Already we have seen both the Russian Su-57 and American F-35 in India. This is more than hardware on display. It is a living testament to India's diplomacy at its peak. The ability to engage with many, to balance interest, and to defend our national priorities without becoming a pawn in others' contest. Rooted in the ancient wisdom of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the world is one family. India believes in cooperation, fairness, and shared responsibility. Our approach is development first and rule based, calibrated policies that protect farmer and small industries, while keeping doors open for trade, technology, and climate cooperation. At the largest democracy, India will act as a bridge builder, firm where principle demands, flexible where partnership is needed, and relentless in protecting the vulnerable. Let us shape a trading system that lifts every nation. I am here again to represent 1.4 billion Indians. India brings a development-first, rule-based view, calibrated tariffs to build strategic manufacturing. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Delegate of India.
A nation of power, strength, resilience, and strategic vision. Let's please welcome the delegate of Russia.
Honorable Chair, distinguished delegates, and esteemed participant, the delegation of the Russian Federation wishes to begin by reaffirming its commitment to fair, rule-based international trade. Russia believes that tariffs, when applied responsibly, are a rule-based international trade. Russia believes that tariffs, when applied, are a legitimate tool of economic sovereignty. They are not instrument of escalation, but rather safeguards designed to protect essential industries, ensure food and energy security, and uphold reciprocity in the global markets. Russia faces over 23,000 unilateral sanctions, measures not endorsed by the United Nations or the World Trade Organization. These actions taken outside the multilateral framework have destabilized global supply chain and harmed not just Russia but also developing nations dependent on stable access to food, fuel, and fertilizers. In response, Russia emphasizes measured transparency and evidence-based tariffs. Our policies prioritize essential goods, energy, grain, and medicine, ensuring they remain available to global markets, particularly in the global south. At the same time, we maintain preferential cooperation with partners such as India, Brazil, and South Africa, and other nations, promoting a trade order rooted in fairness, inclusivity, and mutual respect. Russia does not seek confrontation. We seek dialogue on tariff reform that reflect today's realities and protect all nations, not only the most powerful. We invite all the distinguished delegates to work towards a system where tariffs safeguard fairness without being weaponized as a political tools. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Thank you, Delegate of Russia. So, Sarah, what I'm saying is, before moving forward, let's have a look in the chat section.
Yeah, definitely. I was looking through it. And come on, guys, I'm inviting for more spam chats today. You are open to put in your feedback. And whom do you think is the most influencing introduction you are hearing today now? As I'm saying that, I'm going to the next call upon were a powerful voice in the European Union with the cradle of liberty, equality, and fraternity. I now welcome the delegate of France.
Okay. Honorable Chair, distinguished delegates, our President Emmanuel Macron have nicely quoted, protectionism is a trap, it's a false solution. France is committed to a fair, rules-based global trading system that encourages competition, supports innovation, and advances the green transition. Tariff must be smart, targeted, and transparent, never a tool for discriminate protectionism. France believes it can play a bigger role aligning climate ambitions with open trade and working with partners to make global supply chain more resilient. To this end, France offers three contributions. First, it will lead efforts to create carbon border adjustment mechanism, green lanes, and reporting clarity, developing standardized emissions reporting and quarterly methodology updates with partners like Germany, the UK, and Japan. Second, France is prepared to coordinate a targeted anti-subsidy framework with sunset reviews, ensuring countervailing duties are evidence-based, time-limited, and paired with technical dialogues to prevent tariff wars. Third, France will superhead a supply chain stability pact for essential inputs, compiling a shared list of critical goods, securing tariff freezes, commitment, and enabling emergency consultations with the same partners. France stands steady to contribute its regulatory expertise, industrial capacity, and diplomatic reach to ensure that tariffs become tools of fairness, stability, and sustainability. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate of France. You really said very well and very well presented. Sarah, who is the next one?
A key NATO member, a transatlantic ally, and a global leader in diplomacy. I now welcome the delegate of UK. I repeat, let's welcome the delegate from United Kingdom.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, host and honorable chair. This is Anam, and I'm standing in front of everyone as a delegate of United Kingdom. Let me start with a simple truth: the world is stronger when they trade together, not apart, not separately. Obviously, the UK truly believes that in open trade and fair trade today, our top priority and top trading partners include USA, Germany, Netherlands, and France and China. They make up over 40% of our trade total. Trade with the USA alone is worth more than $320 billion every year. We export cars, medicine, and financial services worldwide, creating jobs and opportunities.
Guys, until the delegate returns, let's keep ball rolling in the comment session. And now here our delegate is back to the form. Yes, delegate from UK.
Was I not audible?
You're audible.
Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible. Continue.
Shall I start from the beginning?
Yeah, please restart the timer. Continue.
Okay. Thank you, Honorable Chair, and thank you, host, again for giving me another chance once over again. This is Anam. As I mentioned, I'm standing over here as a delegate of United Kingdom. Let me start with the simple truth. The world is stronger when we trade together, not separately. The UK believes that open and fair trade and opening our market. Today, our top trading partners include United States, Germany, Netherlands, and France and China. They make up over 40% of our total trade. Trade with the USA alone is worth more than $320 billion each year. We export cars, medicine, and financial services worldwide, creating jobs and opportunity not just for the UK but for many countries. This success comes from keeping our trade door open, trusting each other, and following the honest rules as we already do. But the fact is very clear. When tariff get too high, price increase, supply chain breaks, and everyone suffers. Not only one nation. Recently, global tariff increased cost of UK families and billions of businessmen. That is why UK believes tariffs should be used as a last resort to protect the key parts of our economy, not as the first move in the trade conflict. Together with our friends, Japan, France, and Germany, we start building bridges, not walls. We believe in work as a team, keeping trade fair, and never letting tariffs become a weapon that starts economic war. My goal is today as a delegate of United Kingdom to find the true balance and protect the jobs and industries while keeping markets open with the trusted partners. That is why this legacy we want for the future. Thank you, Honorable Chair, and my fellow delegates. Let's work together for smart and fair solutions. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate of United Kingdom, for such a powerful opening statement.
Yeah, Arya, I second that. The voice was so powerful, and even when given the second chance, wasn't there any shake-up or hiccup there? I see it was going on, and to continue that flow, from the heart of Asia, a nation where technology meets the tradition with grace and harmony, I now welcome the delegation of Japan.
Very good evening, Honorable Chair and fellow delegates of distinct and different nations. I am the delegate of Japan, representing the democracy of Japan, which is the land of rising sun. Same as Japan economy is also rising, and in the world, top 5 economy with $4.4 trillion, Japan become 5th largest economy in the world in terms of nominal GDP. Beside holding rank 60 in the world by land area, Japan truly emerged an island nation, and once it's also holding the position of 2nd largest economy in the world in 1968 and held that position until 2010. Being part of Rings of Fire, Japan facing natural disaster, volcano and earthquake, which mostly disrupt the economy of Japan, but rigorous hard work of Japanese people stable their economy rank in the world. In present global tariff, which becomes sometimes man-made disaster, how Japan will face this disaster when Japan is struggling with natural disaster to make stable their economy. In trade tariff, countries increasing tariff for their preventing their industries and economy, but sometimes increased tariff turn into trade war and is escalating war in tariff conflict, which can disrupt global supply and negatively impact economy. But Japan support balanced approach, believe in free and fair trade. So with our alliance, UK, France and Germany, we are supporting free and fair trade to oppose trade war. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Thank you, Delegate of Japan.
Oh, come on, spammers, this is your day. Spam more. We are waiting to hear from you all. As we are hearing from them, so are we hearing from the delegates. So, championing the values of sustainable development and cooperation along with the precision, progress, and unity. Let's welcome the delegate of Germany.
Firstly, I want to know that am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, very good evening, Chair, and very good evening, fellow members and our audience. Germany, as a founding member of the European Union and a global trading nation, stands before you not to speak loudly, but to speak with the conviction. Our economic strength is built not on our isolation, but on integration. The question of economic protection or trade war trigger is not a theoretical debate for us. It is a choice between cooperation and fragmentation. We have learned that a world with barriers is a world with less prosperity for all. Tariffs, however well-intentioned, can swiftly become instrumental of retaliation, unraveling decades of progress and trust. They create uncertainty, stifle investment, and ultimately harm the very industries they are meant to protect. Germany's position is clear and unwavering. We advocate for multilateral, rule-based trading system with belief in dialogue, not ultimatums. When grievances arise, let us address them through established channel of the World Trade Organization, not through the unilateral action. The path to the stable, prosperous future is paved with the mutual respect, not with a race to the bottom. Let us work together to strengthen our common framework, ensuring that trade remains a force for peace, progress, and prosperity. Thank you all.
Thank you, Delegate of Germany.
A bridge between tradition and transformation in the Middle East, adding in regional insights to global disclosure. Let's welcome the delegate of Saudi Arabia.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, esteemed delegates. Let me begin with a question. What happens to the global economy if energy stops flowing for even 1 week? The answer is chaos. Factories halt in China, transport freezes in Europe, industries collapse in India, and even the mighty US economy staggers. This is why the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, matters, and why Saudi Arabia, its largest member, is not just an energy supplier, but the world's stability guarantor. OPEC is the heartbeat of the global economy. Saudi Arabia ensures it never skips a beat. But today, the stability is being tested, not by scarcity, but by tariff wars and artificial trade barriers. When tariffs are weaponized, they choke supply chains, inflate costs, and punish both producers and consumers. They don't just hurt Turkey's logistics or China's factories, they ripple into Brazil's developing markets, India's rising industries, and Africa's growth ambitions. Saudi Arabia's stance is crystal clear. Tariffs should not become tools of disruption. Under Vision 2030, we are building 40 industrial cities and over 12,000 factories, diversifying into chemicals, metals, and machinery. Yet we remain committed to stable oil and petrochemical flows. The HS-12 tariff system, we champion rules-based transparent trade, 13,000 product lines governed by the predictability, not protectionism. So let it be known, OPEC stabilizes energy. Saudi Arabia stabilizes trade. With our partners, we push for an integrated global trade and energy corridor. A future where nations rise together, where transitions are balanced, and where prosperity is built on certainty and not volatility. Honorable Chair, if energy is the blood of the global economy, Saudi Arabia is its steady pulse, and that pulse will not falter. And that pulse will not falter. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Delegate of Saudi Arabia. It was a really wonderful opening statement by you.
Where East meets West in culture, history, diplomacy, and much more. Let's welcome the delegate of Turkey. I repeat, let's welcome the delegation of Turkey. Arya, while we wait for the delegate from Turkey, did you notice the spammers? Seems like everyone is
Yeah.
on fire.
Exactly. The chat section is already full by the all reactions and stickers. Oh my god.
There are some fan base too. Good to
Yeah.
know that the many people who are listening are adding up your feedback. So keep posting. And
Yes,
while we
please
are doing,
keep encouraging all the delegates.
yes, as we say that, we will call upon the next delegate. Let's welcome the delegate from South Africa, advocating of regional stability with a voice of hope, leadership, and unity from the African continent. Let's welcome the delegate of South Africa. Seems like there is a war between the delegates. Who is going to go next? As we see now, the delegate of Turkey is back to the form. Let's re-welcome the delegate of Turkey.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Honorable.
Well, Priyanshu, currently you are facing a network issue. Please rejoin the VC.
Yeah. Come not the tax but it is playing or यार हम क्या करें
Another one.
Seems like the Turkey delegate is facing some internet issues, so let's call upon the next delegate. Like I said before, representing proudly from the African continent, let's call upon the delegate of South Africa.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Honorable Chair and esteemed delegates, I, Utkarsh Priyadarshini, stand before you as delegation of the Republic of South Africa. South Africa rises today with both urgency and conviction. We represent not only our 60 million citizens, but also the voice of the global South. Nations whose future are too often decided in trade wars we did not started. Just last month, the United States imposed a 30% tariff on South African exports. For a country where unemployment exceeds 30%, this is not just an economic figure. It is food off the table. Jobs lost, futures stolen. And this is not just about South Africa. In 2023, the world saw nearly 3,000 new trade restrictions, 5 times Am I audible?
Yes.
Because you are audible, restart since beginning. Okay, host, you can go with the next person.
We call upon the delegate of Turkey. The delegate from Turkey.
I thought Brazil. Mrs. Host, two delegates, South Africa and Turkey's, are facing network issues. Maybe they are not having better network in their.
Okay. So as we speak, we are delighted to now welcome our last but not the least. For their own introduction, let's welcome the delegate from Brazil, representing a land of varied culture and a tough country which competes in almost all areas of their choices that they make for the people and their country's own welfare. So let's now welcome the delegate from Brazil.
Dear host, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, thank you. Honorable Chair, respected delegates, the delegation of Brazil believes that tariffs can serve as a protective measure for developing economy, but should not escalate into global trade war. Brazil, one of the leading and largest agri-export from Latin America, faces high tariffs by developed nations, which unfairly restricted access to market. At the same time, we understand a small tariffs are necessary, negotiable to shield industries. As a nation, Brazil feeds the world with soybean, coffee, beef, and sugar. In 2024, Brazil export more than 46 billion export of soybean, which contribute 13% of total export of Brazil agri product. So putting high tariff on developing nation, especially on global south, is not good because we are developing nation. Our prosperity, like that of many developing and developed nations, deeply tied to open, predictable, and evitable trade. Excessive and unilateral tariffs create some distortion among the nation. Therefore, Brazil stands for balanced approach, reducing excessive tariff on essential goods while maintaining the right of developing nation to protect their industries. For this reason, Brazil urged to the Council to work toward cooperative framework where tariffs are fair, transparent, and not harm global security with respect of Mercosur allies of Latin America. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate of Brazil.
Arya, did you notice that every one of the delegates had a very compelling and a very influencing way of approach when they have spoken today?
Yeah, they are presenting very well their opening statement. I'm just eagerly waiting for the next rounds now.
Well, that being said, we are now closing the round one, and let's go for a short break of 2 minutes because audience do need an attention too.
Yeah.
Hey, Miss Host, I would like to request you. Can you please ask again Miss Utkarsh if she is not facing network issues so she can complete her first round.
Sure, happy to do that. So the delegate of Turkey, are you available?
Am I audible?
First,
can you confirm me?
Yes, you are, Utkarsh. I'm just a second. I'm just calling the delegate of Turkey, after which I will be calling you. So just a last call for the delegate of Turkey. Mr. Priyanshu.
Yeah. Thank you, Honorable Chair. Good evening, EL members. I am Priyanshu representing Turkey. And I want to start with a question for everyone here. Are global tariffs shield that protect our economy or trigger that ignite trade war? Think about it. Tariff can be powerful. They protect local industries, safeguard job and strengthen strategic sectors like energy, automotive, and technology. In Turkey, selective tariff on imported metals have helped our manufacture compete globally. Sound smart, does it? But here is the twist. Tariff rarely exist in isolation. On country impose them partners retaliate price rise, supply chains flatter, and ordinary consumers, yes, every single one of us feel the pinch. What was meant as a protection suddenly spark a trade war. So what is the solution? Balance strategy. Turkey use a trigger temporary tariff, clear rules for rollback, and ensure critical corridors like energy and auto components remain open protection without conflict. That the goal. Tariffs are like fire. They can warm your home or burn it down. Use wisely. They shield economy. Misuse, they ignite dispute felt around the globe. The world was interconnected. Every tariff decision echoes far beyond borders. So as future leaders, I ask you, are we building protection or inviting conflict? So thank you so much, Honorable Chair and audience. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Delegate of Turkey.
Now let's welcome on, representing the continent of Africa, let's welcome the delegate from South Africa.
Thank you so much. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Honorable Chair and esteemed delegates, I, Utkarsh Priyadarshini, stand before you as delegation of South Africa. The Republic of South Africa rises today with both urgency and conviction. We request not only our 60 million citizens, but also the voice of the global South. Nations whose future are too often decided in trade wars we did not started. Just last month, the United States imposed a 30% tariff on South African exports. For a country where unemployment exceeds 30%, this is not just an economic figure. It is food off the table, jobs lost, future stolen. And this is not just about South Africa. In 2023, the world saw nearly 3,000 new trade restrictions, the 5 times more than 2015. Protectionism is spreading like wildfire. It drives up global prices, disrupts supply chains, and punishes developing economies that are fighting simply for fair access. Yet, despite these challenges, South Africa has stood firm in our principle. Our average applied tariff is only 7.6%, and over half of our imports enter duty-free. We have embraced openness because we know that fair trade lifts all nations, while economic wars trap us in division. So today, I ask the chair and my fellow delegates, will the powerful continue to raise barriers, or will we work together to build pathways for opportunities? South Africa calls on all nations to return to multilateral dialogue through the WTO, to reject unilateralism and to forge a trading system where prosperity is shared by all, not hoarded by a few. I leave you with this. Protectionism builds wall, but cooperation builds the future. Thank you very much, honorable delegates and the chair. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Delegate of South Africa, for this wonderful opening statement.
Yeah, everybody were giving a very thoughtful ideas for us to think and react. And as I'm saying, when I'm saying react, please, spammers, this is your time to react more. Let the level of insight shared today by the delegates sink in and begin a new opening for all the listeners. Please spam with your dialogues. And now let's take a 2 minutes break. Arya, are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm listening and I'm just going through that chat section. What's thoughts of these spammers on this?
Did you notice that the people were saying that, oh yes, I second that ideas?
Yeah.
At one point I was thinking that, how do these delegates research so much? The level of insight they shared today.
They have so much preparation. I'm just overwhelmed by their opening statement only. I just don't know what will they do in these next rounds. It
Yeah,
will
this
be
is
completely
just
fire.
Yes, this is just the beginning round, but I'm already having a lot of insights that is shared today. So many introductory speeches I have come across, but this one, everyone had a very well detailed, and it looks like they are owning it. They are expressing their emotions in that speech they were doing today as an introduction part. Don't you think
Absolutely
so?
correct. Absolutely correct. I agree with you, Sarah.
Indeed.
Okay.
So let's now check whether anybody is asking something from the delegates or had an insight like I was saying before.
So,
Seems like.
accept participants on host.
Did you notice that, Arya? There is one command. Seems like everyone is learning a lot much more about the countries. When the people or the representatives, or I should say the delegates, representing their individual nations, sharing their viewpoints along with the data they provided, seems like people are learning new facts. How the system
Even
is.
we, because too much informative for us.
And did you notice the clarity and the pose some of the delegates were presenting today? Impressive, isn't it?
Yes, and people are already praising and supporting some countries too.
Indeed, because of the confidence and the delivery they presented today was super professional, and the communication did leave an impact on the listeners, like I am saying now.
Yeah.
So as that said, I think we are near to the break time. So Arya, would you like to start with the round 2?
Sure. We'll proceed with the round 2. And I'll be telling the rules first for the round 2, okay? So yes, all the delegates, be ready for the round 2. Let me start with it. Round 2 format is very simple, but interesting too, because here one-on-one question and answer session will be there. In this round, opening delegate speaks for 60 seconds and other delegate have 45 seconds to respond. And I request to all the delegates, please stay within time limits. So here we are good to go with our first bout. It is of USA versus China. And the topic is national security tariffs, IP enforcement, and industrial subsidies versus global consumer costs and access to innovation. USA, you start, followed by China. USA, your 60 seconds starts now.
Through you, Honorable Chair, we would like to ask the delegate of China, as recent US trade data show a goods trade deficit of nearly 295 billion US dollars in 2024 with China. What steps is the government taking to address these structural imbalances created by excess subsidized exports flooding global markets?
Can I answer?
Yes, delegate.
Okay. So, thank you for the question. And about that, $295 billion in 2024, but let me update you about 2025. It has already been reduced to $88 billion. And about that, how China is contributing, China has already opened the market to improve and invite the investment in the country, and also trying to reduce the imbalances which has been created due to the global shift.
Honorable Chair, could the delegate of China clarify that the US has consistently raised issues of IP theft, costing our economy billions annually? What concrete enforcement mechanisms has China implemented to protect foreign IP holders beyond recent paper reforms?
China has strengthened the IP laws in 2024 as well and has come up with the stricter penalties those who tried to bring the dispute and also reduce the IP addresses and complaints from the foreign countries. It has also remarkably seen that foreign investments and foreign companies has shown that China's policies towards IP has improved a lot. And I believe that US delegate should also understand this thing, that there were some room for improvement and China is constantly improving by innovating the ecosystem of China and also giving benefit not only to the foreign countries, but also to the domestic market of China.
Okay, let me ask another thing. Would the delegate of China explain how the WTO framework is built on fairness and transparency? Given the persistent subsidy-driven overproduction and state intervention in key industries, how does China propose to restore trust in the multilateral trading system?
First of all, China does everything related to subsidies according to the WTO trades and terms and conditions. Whereas if I need to ask about USA has also been using subsidies in the overcapacity when we talk about space. Yes, space and agriculture. But when you see China is strategically using the subsidies and also the overcapacity, which you are talking about semiconductors, automobiles, or about another materials, it's because of COVID-19 pandemic. And as I have already stated, due to the global political instability which has arisen over the years, China is trying to bring up its own domestic market and is trying to be less reliable on another countries, whereas the another countries still need to be reliable on China for the other materials as well as the rare earth minerals.
Okay, so I would love to know any responses or any questions you wanna ask.
Yes.
Yes, sure.
I have a question. Since USA always states that USA is always fair and brings the peace, I have a question that 301 section, which is being stated in US jurisdiction, it says that a trade policy should not be used as a tool to bring the dispute in the global economy. But China has used it in unfair manner and also used the most favorable nation while bringing the tariff policy and as also bring the instability in the economy. How would you go for it?
Okay. So our delegation acknowledges the concern and wishes to clarify that the United States' use of Section 301 is not protectionism, but a necessary and proportionate response to China's persistent unfair practices, forced technology transfers, industrial subsidies, and IP theft that contribute to a $295 billion trade deficit and distort global markets. These tariffs are defensive, targeted, and consistent with the WTO principles, particularly where national security is involved. They aim to restore balance and fairness, not close markets until genuine reforms make such measures unnecessary.
I have a counter question for this. You are stating that it wasn't necessary, but putting 100+% tariff on any other country, don't you think that this brings the instability in the running World Trade Organizations and relationship between the countries, which you have done? It also brought the alliance of yours, that is Eastern European, to the against side of yours, where countries are protesting for your action.
In our view, this matter is best addressed as our actions are coordinated with allies who share concerns about overcapacity, IP theft, and subsidies. Recent G7 and EU measures echo US concerns. This is not unilateralism. It is collective defense of a fair and sustainable trading system.
Since you stated that you got the alliance, let me state not only EU,
Thank
Canada,
you, delegates. Thank you to both delegates for a compelling and respectful exchange of ideas. Your ability to defend your positions while engaging diplomatically sets a strong tone for the rest of the face-offs. Well done, both of you. So, Arya, who is coming next?
Okay, let me invite the delegates for the bout two. So it's between Germany and France. Germany versus France. The topic is EU carbon border adjustment mechanism, that is CBAM, and anti-subsidy duties versus value chain stability, industry cost and green transition. So Germany will be opening, followed by France. And the delegate of Germany, be ready. Your 60 seconds starts now.
Okay, am I audible? Can you please make sure first?
Yes, you are.
Yes, so very good evening, the delegate of France. So here I would like to start with the question that I have been asking you now is, given France's strong support for the CBAM as a tool to accelerate the green transition and its leadership in low carbon nuclear energy, how does France view the mechanism potential to create unproven competitive advantage within the EU? And how can we ensure that the CBAM fairly discarbonating across all member states, regardless of their national energy mix, to avoid indirectly analyzing industries in the country with higher carbon grids as they work to transition?
Um, so I really appreciate this question. This is very way forward type question. And firstly, I want to tell that what is CBAM? It is a mechanism that is designed to have less carbon emission. It is focused on more green energy, and France and Italy and other partner countries are working on it. This is the very beautiful thing, and the concern which are highlighted by my partner country is that like what about the fair competition to countries who wants to develop in this field. So yes, we are working on it. We can have like combined joint task forces. We can have industrial collaboration among themselves ourselves, which will help in building the technology in other countries where there is high carbon emission, and they will also be able to improve and have low carbon input. My question to Germany is that the delegate of Germany is that, are you interested in collaborating with France in developing nuclear power plants in Germany, as we know that Germany has very less nuclear power plants compared to France?
Okay, very well proposed. The delegation of France, the delegation of France, that is good. Yes, firstly, I would like to inform you that, as you said, we are having a less number of plants. So I would like to inform that here you are completely wrong, my dear. We are not having a less. Initially, we were having a less, but we increased. Now we are improving. And if you are giving a proposal to have a collaboration with the France, so definitely we will be thinking on that. And as our neighboring country is also looking for a best partner for having a good plans and improving in this field, so definitely we will be looking for the new partner as a France. So the next question from my side to the France is, France has advocated for stop anti-subsidies duty, particularly in the sector like electric vehicle and to counter perceived unfair competition. How does France assess the risk of retaliatory measures from major trading partners and a potential impact on the entire European value chain, including French industries that depends on the global export? And as we are having a large number of export, as we all know. What specific measure does France propose to mitigate the risk and safeguard to stability of our collective industry?
So first, our President Emmanuel Macron have said that protectionism is a trap, and we are against this idea of protectionism. Our tariffs are very limited; they are targeted only for environmental enhancement and aligning with climate policies of sustainable development goals, and they are bringing stability and sustainability in the world. Moreover, we want to create a fairness and competition among those groups who are working in the favor of climate change. Working in the favor of climate change is not an easy task. You have to do upgrades based on the requirement, and you have to increase the amount expenditure to give fair chance opportunity to those people who are aligning with the climate policies. We are putting some minor amount of tariff, and I don't think there will be any retaliatory tariff. And to further overcome those challenges, we are also promoting various policies like climate club alignment. We are encouraging other countries, G7 countries, including the Germany, to be the part of climate club alignment, where we will discuss, where we will do technological sharing about various renewable sources of energy, and thus the tariff will no longer be there. Moreover, we are against the tariff war and all the protectionist measures which are taken by different countries. So this is our option, and we should not move towards a tariff war. Rather than we should move towards science-based methodologies to improve our exports. This is our policy of it. Okay. So how you see this policy? Are you interested in being the part of climate club alignment and being the part of WTO norms which are promoting green energy and green trade?
First of all, thank you very much, the delegate of France, for proposing this ideas and for inviting Germany to come in your alliance. But firstly, as you mentioned, I'm not bit satisfied. We are not bit satisfied on the behalf of Germany because you mentioned few things, and if you are proposing to come in your alliance, so definitely we will discuss. We will see your proposal. We will see your agencies, and we will see your work that you are going to do now, and then we will supposed to do, and then we will think about it that we should be in or not.
Yeah, and
So
further adding to that point, I want to say that we will further, we believe that there should be some norms, there should be some criteria, and we believe in science, but we will pre-declare that what should be our criteria about green energy. So there will be more time for companies to adjust based on our standards of green energy and our standard of green exports and green imports.
okay. Okay, so closing question to the delegate of France is: the EU's trade defense instrumental are intended to ensure a level playing field. However, this is a risk that they could have been seen by third countries as a form of protectionism. And how does France propose to balance the need to protect our strategic industries with our imperative maintain constructive global trade relation and promote a cooperative rather than a confrontal approach to a climate action and fair competition on the world stage? What is the take of France on this global cooperation and trade relation?
We will do pre-declared standard. We will declare our standards earlier, that what are the standards of CBAM, and that will promote fair competition for every country.
Thank you, delegates. A big thank you to both speakers for a dynamic and thought-provoking discussion. Your clarity and confidence brought real energy to this round, and we appreciate your commitment to your country's stance. Thanks once again to the delegates who presented their points. Over to you, Arya.
Thank you, Sarah. So the next bout is between India versus Japan, and the topic is selective tariffs for infant industry protection versus predictable, frictionless auto and supply chain flows. Attacker will be India and followed by Japan. India, your 60 seconds starts now. Delegate of India, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. You can start the timer now. Thank you so much, Honorable Chair. The delegation of India would like to address the distinguished delegate of Japan. While Japan has long dominated exports in automobiles and electronics, India's see space to grow and compete. Our selected tariffs are not barriers. They are, in fact, need industry protection. The same approach Japan itself used during its rapid industrialization in the 1960s and 70s. India has already cut the duties on critical inputs for electronic and EV batteries. Honorable Chair, through you, I would like to address the delegate of Japan to explain how developing economies can upgrade industries if denied even limited time-bound tariff flexibility. Would you like to talk about that?
Thank you, delegates from India, and I want to answer up this question that in India automotive sector is the world third largest market, and if India will close their market door by imposing tariff to other country for their domestic and economic security, then what about other countries? How they will survive in this global tariff, and how they will just keep the chain of trade in without disruption and continuing? So I would like also ask to delegation of India, we are concerned about frequent duty hike and selective tariff as they fragmented supply chain, raise cost, and deterring investment. Suzuki, Toyota, and Honda are among the largest foreign investors in India's auto industries. Yet on March 2023, frequent duty hike on fully imported SUVs increased from 60% to 70%. Can India justify itself as legitimate and trustworthy trading partner? Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, delegate of Japan. Firstly, I think that I'm not completely agree with your statement because India is not shutting its market. Here, I would like to address Fumio Kishida, the former Prime Minister of Japan. So once he was on the verge of doing an investment of somewhere around $68 billion in India, and the similar stance was followed by the incumbent Japanese government. What would you like to say about that? You have talked about Toyota, you have talked about Hero Honda, you have talked about some other entities. But on the other hand, if we are putting tariffs on them, then how they are aggressively growing in our India? You see their market share. I don't agree with you. Let me tell you the reality. Japan itself protected its industries during its rise in the 1960s to 80s. If Japan had that right then, why should India be denied it today?
Okay. So thank you, delegates of India. And I would like to answer up this question. Like Fumio Kishida, PM of Japan, who was imposing tariff, and at the moment India was also, there was many trade war at the moment, because as relation was not good at the moment. And I want to also talk about India's withdrawal India's withdrawal from the regional comprehensive economic partnership negotiation in 2019 raised concern instead of relying on heavy tariff on Japanese automobile. We believe that fostering technological partnership to build local capacity and export hubs in India would benefit not only India but also the broader Indo-Pacific economy. How India delegates respond to it? Thank you.
I think my counterpart, I respect her. I guess she is not sure with her data. Through the Honorable Chair, does the delegate of Japan agree that diversifying production hubs in India reduces overdependence and strengthens global resilience? What's your take on this? You are talking about, again, that we have shut down our markets, which is quite impossible because, again, I would like to address the similar data where if our markets are closed for you, then where you will invest $68 billion and why there is an involvement of Japanese government and industries in the upcoming bullet train project in Maharashtra to Gujarat. Could you please clarify?
Bullet train project Maharashtra to Gujarat, which is like invested by Japan in India, and where we all are aware about it, there is zero interest, even not that's not zero, but yeah, 0.1%. But that is there is unlimited time which given to India, and as we know, as a good partnership, in Japan is also showing their good hearted to India, but we can't deny the data. And as we have this data, as I asked earlier, in March 2023, 60 to 70% SUV there is fully imported, increased hike duty. So as delegate of India showing, like they are not closing their door of market, but it's completely look like this door is closed for the delegate of Japan.
That was a sharp and engaging debate. Thank you to both the delegates. You balanced assertiveness with diplomacy, which is exactly what we hope to see in one-on-one exchange. Excellent effort, both the delegates. Arya.
Yes, let's start with the next bout. And it is Russia versus United Kingdom. And the topic is counter sanctions, reciprocal tariffs, and regional trade blocks versus targeted rules-based and time-bound remedies. So Russia will start, followed by United Kingdom. Delegate of Russia, your time starts now.
Honorable Chair, through you, Russia asks, how does the UK address the impact of its sanctions and tariffs on developing countries, which often face higher costs and supply disruptions?
Thank you, Honorable Chair, and thank you, Delegate of Russia, for asking this wonderful question. Let me tell you, UK sanctions targeted only military-linked linked actors and some point of view banks and energy firms, and that's why we put the sanction on Russia. And it is not directly attacking on the ordinary Russian citizen. Let me repeat, not targeting local people from the Russia. That they are attacking on a military basis, which directly funding the war in Ukraine. So that's the reason we are putting the sanctions by the United Kingdom. And I must say that whatever sanctions, counter sanctions is Russia is putting on the United Kingdom, that is definitely harming millions of businessmen and families. As you know that we are always supporting the open trade, and we definitely are not against of the opposing the tariff, but with this I want to ask only one question to the delegate of Russia. Like it is known for that in 2016 the WTO, that is World Trade Organization panel, found Russia applied tariff above the level of it promised when joining the WTO, and including product like the refrigerator and the oil, palm oil. How does the delegate of Russia justify violating international trade and rules it agreed to? And what steps that Russia taken since it to fully respect the WTO commitments?
Honorable Delegate of the United Kingdom, the delegation of the Russia wishes to clarify that our tariffs are not arbitrary retaliation but a sovereign response to measures that unilaterally disrupt trade relations. Reciprocity is a recognized principle under WTO rules, ensuring that trade remains fair for all parties involved. Russia's measures are carefully calibrated to protect our industries and citizens while maintaining ongoing trade with partners who adhere to fair practices. For instance, despite facing over 23,000 Western sanctions, Russia has continued to engage in barter trade with countries like China and Pakistan, exchanging goods such as wheat for Chinese cars and flax seeds for building materials. This demonstrates our commitment to maintaining trade relations even under challenging circumstances. Our aim is not escalation but to promote stability. And in this essence, we are in the compliance with WTO standards. In essence, these steps are not punitive but corrective, intended to safeguard the principle of reciprocity and sovereign economic policy. I would like to ask the delegate of the UK that if tariffs are intended to protect domestic industries, why impose them selectively against certain countries while granting preferential treatment to others?
I agree with this statement that we are selectively imposing the tariff on the selective industries. But the UK, let me tell you one thing as a delegate of United Kingdom to the Russia, like the UK sanctions blocked over $10 billion to assert the hold by the individual and entities like the Russia's military and political leadership, which was funding the military bases, not the local industries. So, for instance, firms supplying the technology and equipment to the support from the Russian arms, we are supporting the local industries of the Russia, and you are not focusing on that. And the second thing is that UK sanctions complies with the industrial laws, including UN Security Council resolution and the WTO rules. Many sanctions measures and contradict with the alliance with the European Union, USA, and Canada to maintain the fairness and impact only targeted sectors, which is definitely benefiting the local market of the Russia and as well as other countries, which Russian delegates are not focusing on. Lastly, I would like to ask the question to the Russian delegate. Under Article 41 of the Union Charter, sanctions are legal non-military measures to maintain the international peace. So the UK implements the targeted sanctions that avoid the blocking essential medicine and food and provide the mechanism to individual to challenge the sanctions fairly. Can the Russian delegation explain how it is counter sanctions comply with the international law and what safeguards they have to protect the innocent civilians from the harm?
Russia, Honorable Chair, distinguished delegates, Russia wishes to clarify that if measures are defensive and reciprocal designed to protect national economic interests, not to exert political pressure. First, these measures are targeted and proportional. Essential goods such as food, energy, and medicine are fully exempt, ensuring that civilian population and global humanitarian needs are not disrupted. Secondly, Russia acts within rule-based frameworks, including WTO guidelines, which allow temporary countermeasures when trading partners impose unilateral restrictions outside agreed norms. These actions aim to restore balance, not punish. Thirdly, the pivot to friendly market demonstrate an economic, not political rationale. For example, in Russia India trade reached $66 billion in 2024, while Russia-China trade was $244.8 billion, showing that these measures secure market access and economic continuity. Finally, Russia remained committed to global trade stability, participating in Eurasian Economic Union to harmonize standards and maintain predictable trade flows. In conclusion, Russia's sanctions are defensive, corrective, and economically grounded, ensuring national resilience while minimizing global disruption. Here, I would like to ask the question from the delegate of UK. Honorable Chair, Russia asks the distinguished delegate, how does the UK respond to the principle of reciprocity in trade, which allows nation to enact countermeasures when treated unfairly?
Thank you to both delegates for a well-paced and well-argued discussion. Your responses showed a deep understanding of the topic, and your professionalism is very commendable. Both the delegates, once again, thank you so much.
Thank you, Sarah. So now let's welcome Saudi Arabia and Turkey. The next bout is between Saudi Arabia versus Turkey. The topic is ensuring stable energy, petrochemical supply corridors versus creating CBM-based decarbonized industrial trade lanes. Saudi Arabia will start, followed by Turkey. So, delegate of Saudi Arabia, you may start with your words.
Thank you, Honorable.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Okay, so my question to you is that while you present CBAM as a climate measure, isn't it effectively a hidden trade barrier that raises input costs for your own industry and global partners?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, why CBM were created because we are manufacturing lot of things. So at the present time, climate change and other issue going. So we want to create a carbon adjustment management. So we are creating these things. Hello.
Yeah, you may ask question. Okay, so it still hurts even your own industry and allies industry, even in Germany, India, and China. Rules-based, transparent HS12 corridors even avoid such sorts. So, Turkey, your logistics hubs depend on predictable energy and chemical flows. How can your low carbon push avoid causing supply shocks that ripple from Saudi refineries to Istanbul and Izmir?
Thank you. Yeah, our manufacturing is all over side. Yeah, it is very useful for country Japan and South Africa and Turkey. South Arabia and Turkey relations between based, and so we are a refinery and we are connectivity with Saudi Arabia is based. So we want to create activity connectivity with Saudi Arabia.
So yes, even temporary measures may seem manageable, but even short-term disruptions delay construction and raise costs, and even the job risks. So, Turkey, how do you intend to maintain trust with countries like India, Germany, and China if your green industrial policies These stabilize energy and chemical flows essential to their economies.
Sorry, Liz, could you repeat again your question?
Yes,
Delegate.
I would repeat. Turkey, how do you intend to maintain trust with countries like India, Germany, and China if your green industrial policies destabilize energy and chemical flows essential to their economies?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, India, Germany, and China is a most importer for Turkey. So we establish with that country. So it is good for us and development in our economy. So we want.
Well, I believe alignment is meaningless if it increases costs and disrupts supply chains. Stability is only earned through predictable trade, transparent tariffs, and fast track HS-12 corridors. And that Saudi Arabia delivers that today, not just in promises, but also in the future. So, Turkey, I would also like to ask you that your industries like textile, automotive, and construction, it still rely heavily on Saudi crude and petrochemicals. If you prioritize CBAM or unilateral green tariffs, how will you ensure stable supply and prevent skyrocketing costs?
Yeah, it will be improve. It will be uh, increasing our economic. So we want to petrolism and HS connectivity with other country, with South Arabia and other country. So it will be develop our economy and grow. So we are corridor with other.
I believe stability is not negotiable, and HS-12 coded corridors already provide predictable flows and protect industries immediately.
Yeah, stability is not stand one place. So we need to change day to day. So we
What
will.
a round it was. Thank you both the delegates for your respectful, impactful arguments and the strategic points that had been put forth as a thoughtful image for each of the nations. You have definitely kept the audience thinking. And so, once again, thank you both the delegates.
Yes, and the next bout is between Brazil and South Africa. The topic is development friendly trade and agree, commodity flows versus CBAM, green market access barriers, and fair transition. But Brazil will start, followed by South Africa. Brazil, your 60 seconds starts now.
Thank you, dear host. Brazil support fair rules for a developing nation, especially in global south. We support fair trade because especially Brazil export very much agri products. So here I would like to ask question from the delegate South Africa. Should a small business focus more on development friendly trade? Take floor.
Thank you so much, Delegate of Brazil, for this question. Yes, Honorable Chair, I would like to respond the Delegate of Brazil. That the answer is very much clear, yes. In South Africa, we know that SMEs contribute 34% to GDP and employ more than 60% of our workforce. So in Brazil, they account for 99% for firms and 70% of jobs. So it is very much clear that SMEs, that is small medium enterprises, are the backbone of our economies. By focusing on development friendly and sustainable trade, we empower small businesses to compete fairly, because small businesses should have the development friendly trade, because they are growing in nature and they need support from the powerful economies. So because it drive innovation and create employment, so that benefits our people directly. So I would state in a clear manner that yes, supporting SMEs is not a policy choice, it is a development necessity, so that every nation could grow in an equal manner. So I would like to counterattack the Brazil for this question. Like, if CBM revenues are collected in Europe, does Brazil agree they should be redistributed to developing countries to protect jobs in both mining and farming sectors?
Brazil highly values the partnership of Global South. If we're talking about the CVM revenue, we appreciate and we demand from the developed nation the revenue of CBM tax should be equally redistributed among the developing nation, especially in Global South, because we are at growing phase, and for competing and meet the goal of climate change, we need support. So Brazil support the idea that CBM revenue should be equally distributed, so we can grow up very strongly with the timeline of Western nation. Thank you. And now I would like to ask question from the delegate from the South Africa. Instead of fighting these unfair rules, should not we team up one single plan that help both of our countries, because we are at developing phase and we need support for our business and our trade. Please take the floor.
Well said, delegate of Brazil. Thank you so much again for this question. It is a kind of fair question. So yes, Honorable Chair, I would like to respond, delegate of Brazil. Yes, South Africa fully agrees with this, because alone our voices are often sidelined, but together we can say fairer outcomes, right? Already, like intra-BRICS, we are in intra-BRICS cooperation. Also, like we are in G20, and also we already, what we can say, we can strengthen bargaining positions. Our bilateral trade exceeds $2.5 billion annually. And by uniting, we can safeguard our industries from unfair barriers. Just in case of AFCFTA, that is African Continental Fair Trade Area, that is very important trade organization in Africa that removes tariffs almost 90% of goods across Africa. And this ensures the smooth or free trading within the country zone. And so it is kind of, the tool that is making the nation in a progressive way. So I would like to say, like, a joint South Africa Brazil strategy could amplify our goals, leverage, and deliver more balanced trade. So yes, this is my response. And in counter, I would like to ask Brazil, delegates of Brazil, could you answer this question? Like, Brazil highlights small farmers, but would you also support simplified clearance for African SMEs in a steel and manufacturing, which are equally vulnerable? What do you think about it? Can you answer?
Yeah, as I already told, we are the nation of global south, and we are at developing phase. So when it comes to giving simplified clearance to our steel industry, so here Brazil support the nature of this idea because we are the nation and we are collaborating with bilateral talks with the Brazil, sorry, South Africa. So I congratulate that clearance of trading should be smooth between the country so we can grow together, and it is more important for our sorry, yeah, thank you.
What a strong face of this round. Thank you both delegates for a lively and articulative debate. Your performance reflects the high standards we expect at these conferences, and it is a great work. Thank you both the delegates once again. And Arya, without any further ado, I would also like to ask the audiences who are present here in the VC and are also who are posting their comments, please show your appreciation of each of the delegates' point of views. If you support someone and if you think that that delegate performed a wonderful task, please mention the name of the delegates of your interest and keep spamming the group. Arya, would you like to start with round 3 as the audiences are spamming the group with their sites?
Yes, let's start with the round 3 and we are back. Here now, the battle of ideas is about to shift from individual voices to united fronts. In this round, our delegates have united to form 3 distinct blocks. Each block has collaborated to draft and will now present a joint agenda on the topic of global tariffs. Each block has 5 minutes to present their proposal, with one delegate speaking on behalf of their group. So yeah, let's begin. And Sarah, I request you to call our first block.
So the first block comprises of the countries Germany, France, UK and Japan. So all these 4 countries have joined together and formed the block 1, and the topic or the agenda of discussion would be Axis Quadrant. And the delegates who would be taking the stage now from block 1 would be the delegate of France and the delegate of UK. I repeat, the delegate of France and the delegate of UK would be taking up the stage now.
Ma'am, would you mind repeating the rules once again?
Over to you.
Yes, we will. Each block has 5 minutes to present their proposal or agenda. That's the rule of this round.
I repeat the rules once again for the speakers. So it would be 5 minutes round, and each, both the delegates from representing block 1 would be presenting their views in that 5 minutes. And out of that 5 minutes, 3 minutes would be your presentation, and 2 minutes would be the other people, like the other delegates from different nations are welcome to question or clarify anything that is related to the agenda that is proposed by the block 1.
Ms. Host, sorry for interruption. Here I would like to inform you from block 1, delegate of Germany and delegate of UK will be taking lead for block 1. I hope am I clear?
Yes.
Okay.
I once again welcome the delegates from Germany and UK to present their viewpoints.
Yes, thank you very much, respected host and honorable chair. Esteemed delegates, the Axis Quartet bloc stands for fair and open trade as the foundation of lasting economic growth and stability. We propose a gradual reduction of unnecessary tariffs over the next 5 years, fully respecting WTO rules. By doing so, we will lower costs for businesses and consumers, encourage investment, and promote smoother trade flows between our countries and across the globe. This measured approach ensures that all countries can benefit without sudden shocks or disruptions to important markets and supply chains. Together, by reducing barriers step by step, we create a path towards a more connected and prosperous globe economic. Thank you all. Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, our respected audience. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Block 1. Sir, we may proceed with the Block 2 now.
Okay. Well then, thank you so much Thank you so much, delegates from the Block 1. And now we are moving to the Block 2, which is comprising of the delegates from Brazil, India, Russia, and South Africa. So they're going to present their agenda about Partnership for Sovereign Trade Policy. I repeat, Partnership for Sovereign Trade Policy, PSTP. So representing this Block 2, the delegates who are going to present their speeches would be the delegate from South Africa and the delegate from India. I welcome both delegate of India and South Africa to the stage.
Thank you so much, Honorable Chair, distinguished delegates. On behalf of the Partnership for Sovereign Trade Policies, PSTP, I stand before you to present our agenda towards inclusive and stable global trade. Our bloc brings together India, Russia, Brazil, and South Africa, 4 nations that together represent the aspiration of the global South and the principle of fairness in trade. India rises today not just as the world's largest democracy, but as a voice of billions who seek equality and justice in global economic governance. Our civilization has thrived on the timeless ideal of Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam, the world is one family, and we carry that spirit into the resolution. For too long, trade rules have been written without adequate space for developing nations. India believes that sovereignty over tariff policy is not just an economic right, but a pillar of national self-respect. We will not allow political pressure to dictate the livelihoods of our farmers, workers, and small enterprises. With this spirit, I yield the floor to the delegate of South Africa, who will elaborate on the issues and resolution our bloc advances.
Thank you so much to the delegate of India. Honorable Chair and fellow delegates, the delegation of South Africa proudly joins the Partnership for Sovereign Trade Policies, a coalition that presents a united vision towards inclusive and stable global trade. Our nation may be diverse in geography and culture, but we are bound by common principles. South Africa, as a nation that overcomes the injustice of apartheid, we know too well how economic isolation and politically driven restriction can harm ordinary citizens while closing little to resolve conflict. Sanction and unilateral measures imposed outside the UN or WTO undermine the rules-based order and destabilize developing economies. Our resolution is therefore not an act of defiance, but an act of justice to ensure trade remains a tool for development, not domination. The PSTP emphasizes 4 clear priorities. First, respect for sovereignty in tariff and trade policy. Second, rejection of politically motivated sanction and trade coercion, which destabilizes economies and punish the innocent while doing little to resolve conflicts. Third, a greater voice for the global south in global trade governance. WTO and institutions must reflect today's reality, not yesterday's hierarchies. Fourth, last but not the least, a stronger South-South cooperation in food security, sustainable growth, and energy resilience to ensure developing nations can rely on each other rather than remain independent on a few powers. As a Brazil, Russia, India, and South Africa, that is PSTP bloc, we declare together the future of global trade must empower people, strengthen sovereignty, and advance justice. So, at last, we invite all the delegates to join us in building a system where trade serves humanity, not power politics. Thank you so much, honorable delegates and chair.
Thank you for the well-structured presentation from the Block 2.
Okay, let's keep the ball rolling. Guys, I'm requesting the audience to keep posting about the agenda that is proposed by the blocks that had spoken earlier. And also, while this is not the last, we have one more set of people to speak here. And the Block 3 is comprising of the delegates from Turkey, USA, China, Saudi Arabia. And the agenda they want to propose here in front of you all would be the Strategic Alliance for Stability and Transition, SAST. I repeat, the Strategic Alliance for Stability and Transition, SAST, for which the delegate of USA and China would be the one who is going to present the agenda before us. So let's welcome the delegates of USA and the delegate of China. The stage is yours.
Yes, thank you. Honorable Chair, esteemed delegates, the United States believes the world stands as a decisive crossroads. We can choose walls of tariffs and mistrust or corridors of stability and cooperation. Tariffs are not protection. They are hidden taxes on ordinary families, whether it's a laptop in America or a tractor in Africa. That is why, under the Strategic Alliance for Global Stability, our bloc, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, China, and the US, is building something transformative: the Integrated Global Trade and Energy Corridor, IGTEC. Together, we leverage the unique strengths of our partners. Saudi Arabia, as the energy anchor of Vision 2030, ensures global energy security and industrial growth. Turkey, connecting Asia and Europe, safeguards trade routes and strengthens regional logistics. China, the manufacturing powerhouse, guarantees industrial resilience. And the United States, leading in innovation and clean technology, drives future-ready solutions. This alliance demonstrates that Turkey and Saudi Arabia are not just regional players. They are strategic partners linking the US and China in trade, energy, and technology. Their cooperation amplifies our bloc's global influence, enabling us to coordinate investments, secure supply chains, and foster economic stability across continents. We extend an open invitation to India, Germany, France, Russia, Japan, and all nations. The IGTC is not just for us, it is for the world. Delegate of China, over to you now.
Thank you. Delegate of USA, the China firmly agrees with American delegate that tariffs do not build industries. They fracture supply chains. What the world needs is stability, not escalation. That is why China and the United States of America, often painted as rivals, are now negotiating side by side in this bloc. Because global peace and prosperity demands cooperation, not confrontation. Our counter-action plan is very clear. A 90-day standstill on new tariff monitored by multilaterally. Secondly, HS12 green lanes and pre-clearance for industrial imports. Third, green essential good corridors so energy, medicine, food, and semiconductor remains untouchable of politics. And very lastly, the joint security coordination to ensure that trade flows are never hostage to conflict. We cannot do this alone, as the American delegate said. We appeal to United Kingdom, France, Germany, India, Japan, Brazil, South Africa, and all the fellow delegates. Join us. Let us stabilize major economic flows, protect supply chain, and invest together in low carbon future. Our resolution of this bloc is very firm. This House resolves around replacing the tariff wars with trade corridors and division with stability. History must not remember us as builders of barriers, but as custodians of prosperity who turned confrontation into a cooperation which is always would be remembered by the tales whenever it comes to the trade wars. Thank you very much, Honorable Judge.
Thank you, Block 3. And I would like to take a moment to thank each of you blocks. Thank you to Block 1 for kicking off the session with a well-rounded proposal. Your priorities clearly reflect a strong understanding of the issue at hand. Whereas, Block 2, you too, for your deep presentation, the depth of knowledge you had and the upper hand you had through your insights was very commendable too. And to the Block 3, thank you for offering a creative and forward-thinking agenda. It was encouraging to see your commitment to your SAST agenda that you are putting forth and inviting all the nations to think of it. While that is happening, I would like to ask
before moving forward, I would like to ask, what do you feel about the proposals?
Well, some of them are really thought-provoking, and that's why that thought that it provoked, right? So I'm going to invite all the delegates here now. We are going to provide 2 minutes of time. The timer will be resetting the clock for 2 minutes. In that 2 minutes, any of the agenda needs additional clarification, or any of the delegate would like to comment on the other delegates or other blocks' performance of presenting their agenda put forth to all the audiences, please, you are welcome to do so. This is the time to question, will that work for your nation too? Will this agenda that they have proposed really impressed a lot, would be a great measure for your country's improvement too? So this is the moment for the delegates to think of their clarifications or the questions that they want to put forth to the other block members. 2 minutes is yours and the stage is yours, delegate.
Honorable Chair, through you, I asked the delegates of the United States and China, when your blocs weaponize tariffs, subsidies, and sanctions against each other, do you realize it is the global south that pays the price with lost jobs, higher prices, and broken supply chains? How do you justify turning trade into a battlefield while developing nations struggle for fair access? We all know about how it can be possible even. We all know about the relations between USA and China. We counter China in the Indo-Pacific. We counter them in the South China Sea while joining the Quad. They are against each other. How they can be a part of one bloc? How it can be possible? Both of you are in race to become the superpower, and in that race, you are playing with the entire globe. How it can be justified? Thank you so much.
Any of the delegates would give a counterpart for the question put forth by the delegate of India, please?
I would answer that. While we compete globally, our shared interest in stable energy and industrial flows allows for cooperation on mutually beneficial projects. Competition is real and ongoing. Without clear rules and predictable corridors like HS12, this cooperation risks becoming symbolic rather than practical. Saudi Arabia even provides tested frameworks that ensure stability regardless of political rivalry. So, yes, even the competition is temporary, but shared interest is permanent.
Yes, tariffs are one part of a broader industrial strategy. They slow the flood of subsidized imports and give space for domestic industries like semiconductors and EV supply chains to grow under fairer conditions. Without them, the decline would be sharper. Thank you.
Honorable Chair, through you, I would like to ask the delegates of both the United States of America and China and the entire bloc, if each of your blocs keep bending or breaking WTO rules to protect your own industries, then what credibility is left for the very rules you expect the Global South to follow? Because here in the Global South, people are crying just because of your tariffs. Okay, and now you guys are shaking hands with each other to kill the hopes of billions of people. What's your take on this?
I would like to answer.
Sorry, delegates, the time is up. And that was intense. It is getting intense. Did you notice that, Arya?
Yes, the words are so powerful. They're throwing the question, they're answering with the same power, and that's really very great.
Exactly. I felt like I'm watching intellectual gladiators, except the fact they are not having any spots here. It was coming away, and there isn't any end for it. And I started feeling the temperature rise a little now.
Yeah, absolutely agree with you.
Well, that being said, thank you, delegates from
Yes,
all the
thank
nations. It
you.
was really.
Yes, and with that, all three blocks have presented their proposals. The agendas have been submitted, and the time for presentation has now concluded. With round 3 now complete, the stage is set for a decision. Now it's time to vote, and to guide us through this final round, I hand it over to my co-host, Ms. Sarah. Please proceed.
Well then, thank you so much, and thank you, co-host. So as we are nearing to the last round, I would say that all the delegates and all the audience, you are given a chance to vote. The polls will be shared in the group, and whatever is your choice, please feel free to vote. And we wish to listen and hear from all of you. So all your views also, we are happy to welcome the comment session as well. And please vote whether you support the particular proposal, or you're going to oppose the proposal, or you're going to stand neutral about the proposal of each block. And remember one thing, don't think that everything will be taken very personal or anything, because your views are going to be something that is going to make the proposal to be one of the proposal to be a winner here. As I'm saying about the winner, Arya, when are the results going to be coming out?
Yes, the results will come out till tomorrow morning. So yeah, let's wait till tomorrow. But now it's time to vote.
And keep voting. While the voting is happening, we would like to invite, if any delegate is ready to have a small discussion with us. Any of the delegate from any of the nation ready to join a battle with us?
Yep, ready.
Oh, wow. So the delegate of China is here to battle with us, Arya. Are you ready to battle with her?
Okay.
So the battle is nothing but, as we were speaking, so delegate, you have presented your proposal as you belong to block 3, if I'm not wrong. So the proposal was very dynamic and everything is okay. But here is my question. What do you think of the other block's proposal? Is anything here? I'm not asking you for any negative points. I'm just going to ask you which proposal actually impressed you out of the other two.
I would like to state that the Block 2 proposal, no, Block 1 actually, the proposal of Russia, India, and if I'm not wrong, South Africa, along with one more country, was pretty impressive because it was basically BRICS countries. If you leave me alone, like I wasn't there, Chinese delegate wasn't there, but apart from that, all the other delegates were there. So that was something impressive. They presented a collective views, and that is, that was reflected while they were speaking their views out jointly.
Okay, so you are a winner now, because the battle is just to put you on the floor, just on the spot, and ask you to support another country. That was impressive, Liv. That was impressive of the delegate of China. Thank you so much. And any other delegate is up for the next challenge? Seems like we have to battle between us, Arya. Which side are you?
Exactly. I'm not like supporting like a single block. I'm with everyone. I just want to be with Safa side.
No, seems like no one will be a winner then. Come on, Arya. You should be supporting at least one of the block.
We are hosts. We actually can't share our opinion here. Let's not speak about to whom we'll be supporting.
Oh, Arya is awake. She is aware that what needs to be done, what shouldn't be. And are the audience aware of what needs to be done and what shouldn't be? Are you guys voting? Is the voting happening? Guys, come on. Bomb
Yes,
with
guys,
all your
please do
feedbacks.
vote. Your vote really matters.
Who knows, one of the agenda proposal that you think is going great or doing good is going to be the future one that is taken in the real UN. Who knows, it can be heard to the UN too. Don't you think, Arya?
Yeah,
Hello? Wow. The voting is happening very busily, it seems. Come on, guys, we need to see more votes here. Come on, guys, we also are happy, audience. We are also happy to listen to your words, your feedback. Which agenda do you think is very promising? Which seems like the one that can really help the economy boost up?
Yes,
Please.
audience, please. What's your take? Agree or disagree? Type it now.
And we welcome the audience to give their feedback on whichever country's agenda seems to be very thought-provoking. Arya,
One
this
word in the
Sunday
chat
seems to
for
be...
the team you support. So
What
yes,
a vibrant
Clara.
performance. No, I was
Yes.
thinking of, I was just recollecting where we started and where we are. The day is towards, the event is towards the end, yet the vibe that was created by the speakers, the impact is still licking on me. I'm just trying to connect with the people's ideas and views.
Exactly. It was really unexpected event. It was really very great debate. The people defending, the people attacking with other countries. It was really great.
Interesting, isn't it? The views and ideology, the effort, the knowledge they have shared, really commendable, everyone. You know what, Arya? In the beginning of the debate round 2, I was thinking, okay, somewhere somebody will be arguing very strongly, where I will be saying that, oh, let's keep channeling the intensity into the insight of the content that is being shared. And I don't want to be a referee here to blow my whistle in between. Likewise, I thought of commenting something, but unfortunately, the debate did happen and it was debateful, but yet it wasn't as intense as I expected it to be. Very clean, neat, and well presented too.
Yes, yes. Actually, very well presented, and also the all delegates were powerful. All delegates' presentation were well managed and well spoken too. So we really need to thank them for like presenting so nicely in this debate.
Not but not the least, we should also thank you to the timer who was actually trying to play with the clock. I was seeing that there were only 30 seconds left and suddenly it went to 45. Seems like the timer also got lost somewhere.
Correct.
Timer wanted to listen to the speakers a lot, and so Timer was putting in the effort of changing the time. Indeed. Next time, Timer, you are also being watched.
Absolutely correct.
So guys, keep voting. The poll is open and keep voting, and we wanted to hear about your votes and also viewpoints and any feedbacks, any room of improvement points that you would like to share. Keep commenting in the session. We are happy to listen and we are happy to improvise, and we are happy to take the points very seriously, and we are happy to improve ourselves, and also the entire team would be happy to learn from you all. So Arya, are you ready?
Yes, to conclude these rounds and this debate, let's start with it. As this session going to close, we would like to extend our deepest appreciation to all the delegates who brought insight, intellect, and integrity to today's debate.
The topic was complex, the arguments were compelling, and the diplomacy were commendable too. This is what MUN and ELMUN specifically mean. Not just competing, but collaborating through conversations.
Thank you for being a part of this global dialogue.
Until we meet again,
in another committee,
another conference,
or another country,
keep debating,
keep questioning,
and most importantly,
keep
listening.
Thank you all.
Thank you all. Good night.